And welcome. We are live for the first game in the MLQ Championship semifinals between the Austin Outlaws and the Rochester Whiteout. I am Harry Clark, and I'm here with
Andrew Koval here, bringing a little analysis on this game.
Yeah, this is a rematch of a quarterfinal game last year. That game was a decisive victory for this Austin squad, but since then, this Rochester team has made some major roster upgrades.
Yeah, a lot of these Rochester players were on the same University of Rochester team that won the U.S. College Nationals, although a lot of these Austin players were on the Cavalry team that won the Community Nationals. So a little bit of a unification bout here, but let's not bill it as such.
Yeah, let's see this brooms up. This Austin teams are notorious for winning these. So it looks like we're gonna have Simon. Yes, Simon grabs the quaffle. Pass to 13. 13's on. Cool. So Austin with bludger control immediately subs out of the double male set to bring in their all-star beater, Team USA's Hallie Pace. Hallie Pace going up against some of the people that defeated her in her U.S. Quidditch championship run this year. Lost in the finals against this University of Rochester squad. So we'll have to see the rematch between her and Stephen Belitsky and Perry Wang. John Jack? Oh, sorry.
Beaters have crashed to the hoops. One of the bludgers is sitting behind Austin's hoops. The other two are in Austin's beater's hands. Let's see if the Austin Outlaws try to press the issue early here. It looks like they're going to let Rochester set up on offense and get that bludger back.
Yeah, Zach Gregorian just going to protect keeper John Jackson as he just sort of slow walks the ball up the pitch, as is Rochester's style. Rochester leaving a lot of their options pretty far back. Giroso and Arnett trying to crash the hoops pretty soon. Giroso opening the back. Gominiak finds a lane, he thinks. Is he going to reset? Yeah, looks like he's going to pull the reset as Tracy comes in for the beat. That is going to be their reset.
Yeah, smart play there from Rochester, looking to try to save their reset, realizing it's not worth it. Decides not to lose the quaffle, throws it back, gives up their reset, but that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, no, it looks like we have some beats coming on. And Rochester is the first team on the board. And I forgot to start the timer. Also, that timer's not on. Oh, no. Okay, regardless, the score is 10-0. Rochester with the lead.
And now it's 10-10 as Austin drive in, force the Rochester chasers and beaters back to their own hoops, and they hit a mid-range shot. Rochester again with no bludgers at all. Perry Wang just walks up with his fist up, and Austin's happy just to toss it back to Rochester's back beater.
Yeah, this is the University of Rochester beating duo I've been talking about all weekend. This is Perry Wang and Stephen Belitsky. A lot of chemistry between these beating partners, and Stephen Belitsky makes the beat, pushes the bludger out of the way so Hallie Pace can't catch the rebound, then makes the dodge. He's created the lane. The Maniac makes the finish, and Rochester answers 20-10. Austin fast and the aggressive. Rochester with bludger control, but Tracy's trying to make a move.
Great play there from the Rochester beaters, getting the bludgers back. They pressed the issue on offense, got a goal out of it, and then didn't get stuck upfield. A great job to get back.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about the best player on this field, really the best player in Quidditch right now has the quaffle. This is Augustine Monroe. He has more titles than I can count, and he's looking to grab another one this weekend.
Rochester's aggressive beating almost leaves him up the creek without a paddle. But Perry Wang recovers. The great recovery. Perry Wang busts up the field again, but can't get control back for his team. He's still going after it.
We have an open bludger. Are they going to let it happen? Yes. Austin prioritizes the quaffle game. You'll see some of the West teams will avoid this. Austin knew that they could try to get bludger control, but Jackson would crash on the hoops. This is a game about points. Austin's all about stopping this quaffle. Yeah, this is the aggressive beating that Rochester's talking about. Austin's beaters are at their hoops. Now the bludgers are behind the hoops. And Rochester, despite all odds, has a 20-point lead. Now, Rochester wants to make this a game about beaters. They have some of the most aggressive beaters in the league, but Hallie Pace is probably the best beater in Quidditch at catching bludgers. Augustine Monroe's right at the hoops. He's just going to put it in.
Pretty easy goal there for Augie.
Yeah.
Rochester had no bludgers. The Austin beaters did a great job of knocking down the one-armed beater for Rochester and just walking their keeper in there.
Yeah, and Austin with bludger control in their 1-1 set. This is the game they want to play. Let's see if they can stop the new beating line, Shane Hurlbert and Pat Callanan on the field for Rochester. Austin still with their initial beating line. I think Rochester's on their third beating line this game.
Yeah, Rochester like to play a high-intensity beating game, and that means they're going to sub out their beaters a lot to give their other beaters rest.
Now, all bludgers are on the ground. There's chaos. Can Gminiak advantage?
A great goal. Getting wrapped, going down, scores another goal while he's getting wrapped.
Yeah, and if you think you have the deeper line, which I think Rochester says we have the deeper beater line, and so they're just going to run their beaters into the ground.
Yeah, Rochester still have a national champion keeper on the bench who hasn't even seen the field yet.
Yeah, and this is a lot of this Rochester team, unfortunately in their game last year, they were missing Bassam Ashkar and John Jackson, their leading quaffle players, but looks like Miguel Esparza, yes, he dunks on the hoops. Esparza getting some vengeance on his own. His team was also knocked out by the University of Rochester on their way to their championship title.
Aggressive beating there from Rochester, though, doesn't pay off as Austin scores while Rochester's trying to get control back, and they don't get control.
Yeah, and Rochester still doesn't have a bludger.
That's something we've seen a lot in this game. It's pretty unusual to see Basham Askar there throws the quaffle at the bludger to stop it, which is completely legal if you don't mind losing the quaffle.
Dodge from Sandin. Sandin dodges a bit from Pace. It looks like Rochester has bludger control, and these Austin beaters, when Rochester misses a beat, they will not turn around to try to stop the bludger. This is one, if you want to pay attention to the beating game, watch what happens after Rochester misses a beat. All their eyes are on Bassam Ashkar. They cannot let him crash these hoops.
Basham, though, besides being a great driver, has a great range of passes.
Oh, bit high.
A little bit high on that one.
Yeah, Miguel Esparza is going to grab that one.
That's the risk you run trying to play a tight passing offense. When you hit your passes and it comes off, it looks really nice and you score a lot. But when you don't, it can leave your chasers in bad positions with the other team all over them.
And now, for the first beater substitution, Austin has a great one. This is Team USA line. Both of these players played a lot of minutes. This is Jackson Johnson and Bailey Fields. Teammates, and Sandin's going crazy.
Not only that, they brought in another national champion chaser. Keeper now.
Josh Andrews.
Yeah, in the shape of Josh Andrews.
And also Team USA player, I think. Yes, he is, I think. Yeah, Team USA seeker. Big hits coming out.
But
yes, Austin recovers. Can they crash?
The player was beat before the shot there, and it looks like Basham Askar is going to come up with the quaffle.
Wow! And all of this, Rochester gets the quaffle, Austin gets bludger control, but this aggressive beating from Rochester has taken this game to another level.
Rochester are very happy to play a chaotic, uncontrolled beater game, and their chaser line picks them up time and time again.
Yes, and now Zach Gregorian on the field, and his beatings are just non-stop. Can Ashkar score? Does he find a line? Pass behind the hoops to Alyssa Giroso. Picked off by Miguel Esparza. And now he's crashing the hoops himself. There's no one there to stop him.
Basham Askar steps up. Perry Wang accidentally sets his own player a little screen. And then fires a bludger into our commentary booth.
And for the first time this game, since the very start, Austin has tied it up. The initial lead for Rochester is now crumbled. As we're nearing the halfway part, we'll be pre-snitch on pitch. Have these teams adapted to this new strategy coming out of Rochester? They're keeping both beaters back. They're ready for this aggression about to come out of Wang.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual to see Austin play that deep. But they're very happy just to sit back and say, all right, if you want to run into us, you're going to run into all of us.
Yeah, I think it's a good strategy. Bailey gets beat. Beat hits Josh. Can he hit Miguel? No, Miguel makes the dodge. Forces it back to hoops. I think that is still a reset. I don't know if it crossed the...
I don't believe that quaffle ever crossed the midline. And in MLQ, unlike in regular season U.S. Quidditch, crossing the keeper zone line does not count as a reset. So Austin still have their reset. For all that work Perry Wang did there, all he did was get control for his team. Austin are running their normal offense. They still have a reset.
Yeah, and this is another college player. We got Ryan Naraki coming out of Texas State, playing with another fellow Texas State player, Bailey Fields. These players lost in the semifinals, I believe, this year.
Now Andrews is beat. It looks like Rochester has a no bludgers drive, a great defensive step up from one of Austin's chasers, but not enough to stop the drive. Andrews is fired up, wants his team to get in the game.
Yeah, and this game is, I expected some high quality play, and I'm seeing it for both of these teams. Sandy coming with the hits. Looks like he's going to get taken out by Fields. Just going to delay them a bit. Headband covering his eyes. We have Miguel Esparza trying to move up the field.
Now there's going to be a stoppage here. I think the Rochester Chaser swatted the bludger out of the Austin Beater's hand. You can swat in Major League Quidditch, but you've got to be careful. There's no rule protecting a chaser from swatting a dummy throw. If the beater dummies a throw and then the ball doesn't leave their hand and the chaser reacts with a swat, it's still a foul.
Yes.
Even if you thought you were going to get thrown at. It might seem like an unfair rule, but it's something you have to account for as a chaser.
Liesel, can they just jump the clock, or do they?
Are we waiting 6 minutes?
Are we gonna wait 5 minutes? Josh, are we waiting 5 minutes? Or... Okay, are we waiting 5 minutes for the clock?
If you're wondering what's going on right now, there's a little bit of a technical difficulty on the on-field clock. It seems like we can't control the time on it. The game is moving along. There's nothing wrong on the field. No players are getting more cards. This is purely a technical issue.
Josh, so you're not waiting, correct?
We are waiting until 5:42. The clock.
It looks like we're gonna have a slight delay
perfect. Yeah, we're just gonna wait another 20 seconds. So we're just gonna wait until our on-field clock says 5:42, 5 minutes behind the official time, so both teams will know what's going on. That's hysterical. Boom! No! Stop it! Stop it!
Regardless of the technical difficulties we're having, the game's going to restart here with Austin looking to get themselves back level. Now, a few times yesterday, Austin would get up, other teams would come back into games, and then Austin would really put their foot on the gas and push themselves further and further out of range. We'll see if they do that in here as a relatively quick goal goes right past two Rochester beaters. Perry Wang beats a lot of players there.
Yeah, Austin does not have any bludgers ready. Asher's going to have to crash soon, though, because Bailey Fields is getting ready.
Perry Wang, though, presses their beater. The Austin beater makes a smart pass across the hoops. Advantage has been called here. I think we're going to get this called back if the quaffle stays down. I think Basham Ashkar is about to get the quaffle on the top of the zone.
I think Basham Ashkar is inching towards the hoops so that he can make sure he gets the free goal after this advantage call.
Now, there are times where a yellow card will make it.
Yes, that is a yellow card to Josh Andrews for net contact. Basham Ashkar is going to get the ball and put this ball right through the hoops.
Now, with all the bludgers focused on where the quaffle was at the end of that play, Basham Ashkar has a very open
He needs
run.
a headband. There it is. Go.
And an easy goal. The easiest he might ever score for Basham Ashkar.
We have some more. The chaser substitutions have been pretty frugal this Rochester side as they're just cycling through their beaters. Austin playing a good amount of their lineup so far. Miguel Esparza subbing out for I think Augustine Monroe. Yes, he is.
Now, while Austin's chaser line might have gotten a bit shorter, they do have Simona Renz and Augie Monroe on the field. two of the best chasers in the game.
Yes. Two of the best players in the game, even. Augustine Monroe, also a threat at beater. It's a great pass behind the hoops. Can she finish? No, an unfortunate pass. A shot gets a little bit too low to go through.
Beautiful offensive movement there from Austin, but great defensive recovery there to force a bad shot, which comes just off the tee of the hoop.
So I think Callahan's going to sit up to the side. Stephen Belitsky is about to rip a beat at Ryan Naraki. Let's see how Austin's going to handle this. No, looks like he's... Oh, a dodge! Still rips the beat. Callahan's going to try to recover. Kiefer's going to get the quaffle. Oh, great catch by Casey Irwin. Is that Casey Irwin? Cody Kiefer limping a little bit. Hope he is okay. Looks like he's still playing though, despite his team's best protests.
Yeah, his team's telling him to come out. He says, heck no, I want to be in this game. I want to play. As Augie Monroe pumps a couple.
Oh, some beats. Austin does not have a bludger. Ryan Naraki's going to pick it up though. That is definitely, that might be guarding the third bludger. Anyway.
Oh, nothing's called. None of the refs' hands are up. Now, while Austin didn't press the issue when Rochester had no bludgers, as soon as Rochester realized that they had control and Austin had no bludgers in hand, they were on their chasers.
Yeah, there's a lot of Rochester's game plan is to get 3 bludgers on the ground and then just create chaos. And it looks like they're trying to play that as much as possible. Bailey Fields, does not beat Callahan. This Austin team does not really like to... Ooh. Oh, no, passes it back to Naraki. Emma Foley knocks the ball out of Goddess's hand.
Austin, I believe, still have their reset. That was not a reset as the ball was forced over the line. Simona Renz being instructed to advance by the referee here.
Yeah, unless we have a big bust out these next few minutes. This is a low-scoring game, one of the lowest we've seen in a while with either of these teams. Quick patch. Oh, a great shot. Spins the hoop. Sam Dinger recovers. Bludgers are flying in the air. I think Rochester's going to recover 2, and Austin recovers 1.
Rochester keep control, but Austin still have a bludger back on defense. I think the Rochester beaters would have preferred, honestly, to lose control there and give Basham a drive.
Yes.
But here comes the no bludger situation anyway, and here comes Basham Ashkar.
Both of these teams are very willing to give up.
Does what he does best, makes a shot, unfortunately misses it, but gives the ball back to Augie Monroe, who's going to look to one-up his opposite number here.
It looks like he was beat before. Both of these teams will always trade their bludger control for a goal. This is both of their strategies, and they know it going in.
Now, with 5 minutes until the Seeker game starts, we're going to see if Austin decide to press the issue. Austin's beaters are deep, going after one of Rochester's beaters.
It looks like that's going to be a goal. Yes, it is.
A goal and a foul called here. We might have...
I think this is going to be a beater foul, if I had to guess.
But that's all we're doing right now is guessing. We'll wait for the official.
It's going to be on Stephen Belitsky.
The goal will count.
Oh. Oh, yes. Yellow card negated by the goal for illegal contact.
So the yellow card counts, but 26 will stay on the field.
'26.
Now Shane Hilbert will be off broom here after the foul. And the quaffle will be on the ground. It'll come back to Basham Ashkar here.
And importantly, I think Austin will get a bludger two bludgers from that.
Austin,
Hallie Pace with a great hands catching the bludger.
Austin, though, somehow are not going to...
Oh,
they are going to get control out of
cast.
it.
Shane
no,
makes
they're
the
not.
hit.
Austin are not going to get control out. And it looks like...
Augie Monroe is just going to dunk on this hoop.
Augie makes it look easy, but...
And for the first time this game, Austin Outlaws have taken the lead.
A couple players down on the field there. They're fighting on. They want it. Nobody's going to go out injured in this game.
4 minutes left until the snitch takes the field. And this is looking like a snitch range game. Austin with a minor league coming back. Austin could keep up this momentum and knock Rochester out of range.
They've done this in other games. They've given other teams a glimpse of hope and then crushed it by coming back with strong quaffle play.
Yeah, we've talked about Rochester's deep beating line, but Austin is deep across the board. This team has national championships in their third line.
The incredible thing about Austin is that when the snitch comes on pitch, we might see Augie Monroe come on to beat.
We likely will.
One of the best keepers in Quidditch will come on to beat to keep his team in the game. It looks...
Augie will be missing his national team and Texas Cavalry beating partner, Cole Travis, not a player of the Austin Outlaws this year. Was last year when they won the national title. But we will likely see Austin run their classic double male beater stitch on pitch, using Augustine Monroe to go hyper aggressive. A missed beat. Austin's going to score, and this game might run out of range as Rochester goes from up 20 to down 20.
Perry Wang comes back into the game, see if he can change anything. Austin have no bludgers on defense. They've just had one thrown back. Their beater fists a missed shot, but a goal has been called.
That is a goal for University of Rochester national champion.
The only referee signaling goal is the head ref. Austin calls timeout. I don't think that goal is going to be reviewed.
No, this is just a timeout. This is unrelated to the goal. Austin strategically using the, as we always see timeouts used, unless a team goes on an early tear, typically used between the 17 and 19 minute mark.
Now, it's interesting, though, that Austin would take a timeout there, as they're the team in the ascendancy. Usually, when a team like this, when a team starts to go down like Rochester have, they'll be the ones taking the timeout. I think Austin are taking this timeout to say, what are we doing well, and to reinforce that they need to keep doing the things that have got them into this position, and not the things that had them behind earlier in the game.
Yeah, and I think this Austin squad is also just trying to really solidify their game plan for this next 2 minutes leading up to snitch on pitch, and their game plan for snitch on pitch. This is, I would guess this is going to be a snitch range game, and it looks like both teams are going to be focusing on, now, this goes to snitch on pitch. Are we willing to trade that bludger control up for a quaffle in order so we can beat their seeker to try to get the first look at the snitch? Because if you can pull on that first look, you will guarantee yourself your first victory in this best-of-3 series, forcing the other team to win the next 2 to knock you out.
30 seconds, I'm calling for seeker. You're lost. That's exactly why that's fine.
We'll be coming to you live all day from the MLQ Championships. Our next game is going to be our first game of our second semifinal. That'll be the Boston Knight Riders taking on the New York Titans in a rematch of the East regular season game. Oh, sweet, they figured it out. That's clutch. We now have Team USA Josh Andrews taking up the quaffle. No, that's not
That's not Josh Andrews. That's
John Anderson. My bad.
Hey, they both got great last names.
I think that's Casey Early. Solid with a late hit. 7 is called. I think he's going back to hoops for a tackle off the hard boundary, maybe. Unsure.
Now Anderson chucks up a long ball. Whiteout's beaters can't quite get on it. Austin used their reset cleverly, keep the ball, give themselves a chance to push this game into a 20-point delta again.
Yeah, one interesting difference. This Rochester squad really likes to just take out some Austin wing chasers. Just send them back to hoops, make them run, slow down their offense. This Rochester team really likes just, yeah, right there, 13
Another
just goes
long
back
pass.
to hoops. And Ashkar, no, Jackson tips it
Jackson
off.
brings back. Austin's beaters were behind the hoops. Rochester's keeper did not notice them, but now he's got the ball back anyway.
Our seekers this game are going to be All-Star, Team USA, long list of accolades. This is Josh Andrews, one of the best seekers in Quidditch right now. And he's up against Cody Kiefer, rise to fame in Rochester United's Quidditch Cup 8 run, pulling several back-to-back snitches, including to send the only ever USQ finals into overtime.
Yeah, 2 great seekers with a lot of experience. That's going to come down to them in this game, I think.
But right now, Rochester has bludger control. And I think the quaffle?
Rochester have control and the quaffle, and Rochester's beaters are very happy just to sit back at the midline and say, all right,
Their chasers
beaters,
are
you
as
can,
well.
you can play rugby for 30 seconds, and we're going to have control when the snitch comes
Ooh,
out.
but we have a
Austin's
tackle.
beater makes a tackle.
Nothing happens. Jane Arnett now making a
Austin's
move.
beaters are very high. This is
beautiful
Rochester's
alley-oop.
tied the game. This is definitely coming down to the Seekers and the snitch.
That is an amazing pass from Valhalla Quidditch's Jane Arnett. Alley-ooping it to John Jackson so he can make the dunk.
And a great reach, great body control by John Jackson. Here come the Seekers.
They're charging the field. Where are the Bludgers? Are they ready to make the beats? No, Josh Andrews is the first to
Whiteout
snitch.
has control, but they aren't able to form a bubble around the Seeker, but now they are. Now they step up. Andrews is not going to get time with the snitch right now, giving all the time to Kiefer. He's got his hand very low. A nice long beat from Rochester takes out Austin Seeker.
We are. My apologies, I forgot to talk. I am so curious to see if Cody Kiefer can make this pull. Andrews is there to fight too.
Both Seekers now going at the snitch. That can be dangerous for either team. It's effectively a toss-up. One little miscue, one push from the other team's Seeker. Andrews now has all the time in the world.
A great beat from Belitsky.
It doesn't matter. Andrews has the snitch.
If this is a good catch, this will be the win for Austin, 110-80. Austin will enter this best of three with a commanding statement, taking the first game. We'll have to see what the referees say. They are discussing this right now.
Austin, though, are big favorites coming in. Winning this is a big statement, but it might also be a big statement for Rochester that they were this close.
Rochester had the lead for the majority of the game. Austin took it back, and we currently have a tie game. Bludgers were flying everywhere. I'm not sure if, I think there is no discussion. I think he was not beat at any point in that. I think we're just determining if there's any illegal contact between the Seeker and the snitch.
Yeah, Andrews really likes to get in there, be physical, and use his body to get close as he can to the snitch. It's not usually called as charging the snitch, but we'll see what the call is going to be here.
I think we might have a decision. Head ref Josh Mansfield.
Looks like it's going to be called
I think
good.
it's good. That is a victory for the Austin Outlaws. Final score, 110-80. Time is 20 minutes, 44 seconds. We will be back to you in 40 minutes to bring you the first game of our second semifinals. That will be the Boston Knight Riders taking on the New York Titans.